Hi guys. About a week ago, I asked if you'd be interested in me doing a video about why we do what we do, and you said that you would. So I'm going to put this video out there. I'm gonna explain a little bit. It'll be a very overall, general kind of in a nutshell explanation on my beliefs and my understandings of human behavior. Um, And then I think that I'll kind of break it down into maybe modules or tutorials or masterclasses. I haven't decided how to call it yet. And kind of break it down and go over each um, aspect of it, of my understanding, maybe each week. So, but I did want to just kind of give an overall view and see how that sits with you guys and get your feedback and your responses on that. So, for me, on my personal journey with PTSD, BPD, IBS, and alcoholism. So that's post-traumatic stress disorder, borderline personality disorder, irritable bowel syndrome, and alcoholism. I found that learning about behavior was instrumental to my healing. Um, Perhaps one day I will do a video that shares my story in a little bit more detail and my journey, because I don't think I've done that yet fully, at least not in a video. But I really feel that understanding why we do what we do is hugely effective and impactful when we try and just feel better and be happier, healthier humans. I think, how can you expect to fix it if you don't know how it works, right? So, and I fix it, it's not that we're broken, but um, you get my drift. Okay. So I wanted to understand why I do what I do and why I feel the way I feel. For years, that really I struggled with those questions. But then I also wanted to know how to help myself feel better and make healthier choices. So out there, we have a lot of information and resources on healthier choices and healthier living and self-care and self-love and all this stuff. But when it comes to implementation of it, as I mentioned in the video that I did previously, there isn't a lot. There isn't a lot about application of this knowledge and all the tools that we have out there. So I would like to offer the knowledge that I've gained and also my opinion on how this all works. So I believe that human beings are complex, open systems. Open meaning we are influenced by our environment and our surroundings as well, and we also influence our surroundings and environment. So I believe that we are complex, open systems comprised of mind, body, and spirit, and I refer to spirit as energy or emotion. Emotion to me is energy in motion. So I at the moment I connect less with spirit and more with energy and emotion. Now, the mind, body, and emotion. These three components interact constantly and influence each other. The goal of this very complex, the most complex system known to man, the goal of the system is to survive. This is key. This is the foundation of my healing. Understanding that the mind, body, and emotion are all connected and are all built to keep me safe and to help me survive. It was a huge aha moment. It's a biggie. So let that sink in. But we are all built, designed, and wired to survive. So behavior, our behavior, human behavior, is, I believe, is driven primarily by thoughts, which is driven by beliefs. Now, beliefs are inherited, adopted, and internalized in childhood by our surroundings. These can be explored, analyzed, and changed. Now, our minds, they learn with pattern and repetition and seek the familiar. The familiar to the mind equals safe. So even if our thoughts do not serve us now, they were developed based on beliefs in our childhood with the goal then to help us survive. So perhaps now in adulthood, they may actually be causing us more harm than good. They no longer serve us. but the mind still perceives them as familiar, therefore safe. So they keep repeating. Now, in order to change our thoughts, we will have to introduce new, unfamiliar ones. Changing our thoughts, meaning changing also our beliefs and our behaviors, that it's the same chain. So we'd have to introduce new, unfamiliar ones. Now, unfamiliar to our mind is perceived as threat. So this is why it's so difficult to change. Change our behavior, to change our thinking, to change our belief. It's just considered as a threat to the system. So this is called mental resistance. Now, we can change our thoughts because we are not our thoughts. So we are conscious awareness. We are the observer of our thoughts. Eckhart Tolle and Dr. Nicola Pera speak a lot about that. So we are the observer of our thoughts. We experience our thoughts just like we think, just like we drive a car. Doesn't make us a car, we drive it. So we think thoughts, that doesn't make us our thoughts, we just think them. So we can observe them. This is a huge key as well to my healing journey. But once we practice observing our thoughts and perceiving them with compassion and understanding that they're just trying to keep us safe, that was their goal, then we can also essentially distance ourselves and detach ourselves from them. And then we can consciously choose to replace the negative ones that don't serve us anymore with positive ones that do. Now, observation, awareness, and consciously replacing thoughts are all skills. Now, skills require practice, just like playing an instrument. We don't expect to be concert pianists, maestros in a day or in a week. But with daily practice and starting small with realistic expectations, it can be done. It may take years, but it can be done. And I find it quite interesting how we do have this crazy expectation, this very unrealistic expectation that we can change overnight. But if it was like learning an instrument, we wouldn't expect that. So I really think expectations here plays a big role. And there are also tools that can help with awareness and mindfulness and practicing self-care and all these skills. Personally, I love yoga, guided meditations, breath work, and journaling. Those are the tools that have really, really worked for me, as well as just learning, reading as much as I can, watching video, anything to do with human behavior that interests me or that's relevant to me at that moment. The kind of process I have is that when I'm faced with a certain challenge or I'm struggling with something, I dig, I explore, I get curious, I look for materials, research, resources, anything to help me overcome that challenge. That's what works for me. And then obviously I do breath work regularly. I check in, and regularly meaning a couple of times a day. Just take a couple of deep breaths, drop in, unclench my jaw, relax my shoulders, whatever. Breathwork is I think probably one of the most underrated, overlooked tools that we just have kind of built in for emotional regulation. It really helped me with anxiety, breathwork. Yoga, moving the body, stretching every day. I kind of feel, okay, am I tense? Do I need a stretch? What do I need? What will feel good? And I meet that need. Yoga and stretching has really helped me with that on the physical level, but also mental. Remember, it's all and it's all interacting. So if I feel tense physically, then I will stretch, and that will also impact my mood, my thinking, my feelings. It's all connected. And then guided meditations really help me with affirmations, kind of stopping the thinking mind when I struggle to fall asleep, for example. I really help guided sleeping meditations. I think I've posted some in my units in the Facebook group. Yoga as well, I've posted in my YouTube playlists and in the Facebook group unit. And journaling prompts, especially Dr. Nicola Pera's journaling prompts, the Future Self Journal and Ego work have been really, really useful I find that if we get our thoughts out onto paper, that can be really helpful to also kind of detach from them and analyze and figure out what's going on, make sense of them. Mind maps is my new thing, my new tool that I recently adopted, um, just to kind of get the thoughts organized and even categorize them and figure out, you know, if I'm struggling to come to some kind of conclusion or resolution in a mind map. It's a pretty cool tool. Um, and of course, the very underestimated part of being a human being is the being part. We are so busy thinking in our thinking minds, worrying about the past and future, that we forget to just be in the moment. And to be honest, in the present moment, that's where I've found peace and joy. Um, and I don't say that lightly. I mean, when I just drop in and I just be, and that's very much also uh, inclusive of gratitude, a lot of gratitude work. I've done a lot of gratitude work over the years, and I still do, but it's more of an automatic thing now. So yeah, presence, Eckhart Tolle talks a lot about that as well. And again, it's a skill that requires practice as well. So it's taken me 4 years to master these skills, but today I can observe and replace my thoughts. I can just be in the present. I am ridiculously grateful, um, and really, really happy. I mean, I have bad days, we all do, but they are far more manageable. They're not like soul crushing like they used to be. Um, so yeah, just happier, healthier, more balanced, more stable. Um, Also, my PTSD, BPD, and IBS, all those symptoms, very, very manageable if they crop up at all. And I'm sober as well. So basically, that is all of my knowledge, opinion, belief, understanding of behavior in a nutshell, more or less. I hope some of it will help some of you. Let me know what you think. And I do think that I will try and break it down into like little modules, and kind of go into each bit a little bit deeper, maybe on a weekly basis or something. I still need to figure out um, how I wanna approach that. So yeah, hope it helps, and see you again soon.